I'm Leon from Qualitrain, and I'm here to give you a quick walk through an overview of the Level 4 Improvement Practitioner Apprenticeship curriculum. So it's about a 12 to 14 month program. We've got 12 months of training followed by 2 months of endpoint assessment window, and we deliver this program either face-to-face in closed cohorts, or we do open programs where it doesn't matter how many people you've got or are interested, you can join online, and our programs are tutor-led. Our first session is information, advice and guidance, and that's designed to ensure we've got the right person on the right program with the right support. The main things that we'll do in this session are a skill scan to identify any gaps in skills and knowledge relevant to the main apprenticeship itself. We'll do the initial assessments in English and Maths, and we'll allow the prospective delegates and apprentices to have a deep dive into both the apprenticeship standard, the curriculum and the endpoint assessment standard itself. The second session is the launch and enrolment. We can do this face-to-face for closed programs or online electronically for open programs. This is really where you'll just do the sign up to the program. We'll have another revision and review of the actual apprenticeship standard itself. We'll capture all the data needed to support your apprentice, including additional learning needs. And all we need you to do is help us by doing the electronic sign off when you get the email through and the notification. The first training session is Lean Six Sigma philosophy. This is where we really look at the mindset of what do people who lead improvement and change actually do. It's heavily predicated on Toyota's 14 management principles and the 14 points of Deming, and it gets everybody ready to understand exactly what continuous improvement is all about, get rid of all the myths and misconceptions up front. Second training session is process mapping and value stream mapping. This is where we teach the apprentices to see the big picture, see the process from end to end, and use two of the most common accepted methods to identify waste, lead time and improvement opportunity. The third training session is Lean Foundation 1. This is heavily built around the house of improvement, and in this session we're looking at the foundations, so particularly how to improve health and safety, how to improve the workspace with workplace organisation, which is sometimes known as 4 or 5S, how to use visual management and control, and how to use Kaizen. The fourth training session is an extension of Lean Foundation 1. It's Lean Foundation 2. This is where we look at how to use standardised work or SOPs, how to use them to drive Kaizen, and the two main pillars of the House of Improvement, which is just in time, how to ensure we get the work to flow at the rate of customer demand, and Jidoka, which is building in quality at source. The fifth training session is where we really start to teach through the project methodology itself using the Lean Six Sigma DMAIC method. First session is Define. This is where we teach the apprentices themselves to actually set up their project, put together a project charter, define the problem, define the opportunity, put the team together and identify the stakeholders and how they could influence and or support the actual project itself. Training session number 6 is Measure. This is how we teach the apprentices how to make good decisions, how to identify the metrics, how to basically use data collection to develop those metrics, and then how to use measurement systems analysis. We teach two types, whether you're using variable or attribute data. So if you're using variable data on a continuous scale, we teach the gauge R&R method, and if you're making decisions against a standard, we teach them how to use the attribute agreement method. Once we've done that, we'll then teach them how to baseline their process capability. Training session number 7 looks at Analyze 1. This is where we use most of the common tools and techniques to analyze the root causes of a problem, so we can really get it sorted. This is all around the more basic techniques, how to use cause and effect diagrams, verification tables, prove those actual direct causes, and then how to use 5Y for root cause analysis. They're the main techniques we're really using. We'll get the basic ones out the way first to ensure everybody can use the most common tools which are needed most of the time. Training session 8 is where we look at Analyze 2. This is a bit of a deeper dive into the root cause analysis tools that you could use, such as scatter diagrams, histograms, regression, simple linear regression, and hypothesis testing. so we can compare two or more sets of data to identify if we've made a change or if we've identified a root cause. Now we move on to training session number 9, which is the improve phase. This is how we identify how to actually improve a process, how to develop future state process maps, how to actually run a pilot and control and understand the improvements on a small scale. And we also teach the delegates and apprentices how to actually run experiments using the design of experiments method. Number 10 is the final training session. This is control. This is how to keep the improvement sustained. So once we've checked the results and we know it works, then we need to use control plans and statistical process control techniques to identify, are we actually staying good? Is that improvement sticking? And what we also do to end that session is teach the apprentices how to actually report out the learning and the benefits that have been realised throughout the project. The next session is where we come to midpoint, gateway and project selection. So this is the latest point after being trained where the apprentices can actually choose the project that they want to do. What we need them to do is really choose a strategically aligned project that lasts no longer than 3 to 4 months, which gives them plenty of time to be coached and supported on the rest of the programme. What we'll also do is make sure that all the endpoint assessment materials are issued at this stage so people know again how they're going to be assessed, and we'll also do a multiple choice mock exam paper so we can start to identify if that knowledge is really sticking. Once the gateway is completed and the project selected, what we then do is coach and support your apprentices over the remaining sessions of the apprenticeship. This involves implementing the project itself and building the portfolio of evidence. So what we'll do is around every 3 weeks, we'll ensure that we coach each apprentice through each stage of their improvement project, and you'll be also invited in to come and have a look at how things are going on top of the normal progress reviews that we conduct. Also, if your apprentices need functional skills support, there's the option to undertake the functional skills level 2 English and Maths qualifications themselves. Qualitrain have our own team of English and Maths teachers who can support your apprentices to successfully pass. And currently, we have a 97% first time pass rate. The final session before your apprentices are released into their endpoint assessment is the final gateway. This is where we make sure a few things are completed. First, that the project is completed and that your apprentice has had the opportunity to present that project to us themselves to help prepare for the endpoint assessment. We need to make sure that their portfolio is built and mapped to the actual endpoint assessment standard and ready to go. We'll also support them with a mock professional discussion. And the final part is we'll do another mock multiple choice paper. If your apprentice successfully passes all those 3 elements, we'll sign them off through their final gateway with your good selves and get them ready and into their endpoint assessment, which lasts 2 months. Once the final gateway is complete, your apprentice will be into their endpoint assessment process, which is a 2-month window and it's carried out by an independent assessor. There's the same 3 methods that are used to assess competence. We've got a multiple choice paper, which is around a 30 question paper that lasts around 40 minutes. There'll be a professional discussion, which is underpinned by that portfolio of evidence. And there'll also be a project presentation with question and answers. And when that's all done, your apprentice will be graded pass, merit or distinction. And one final point to note, if you're an apprentice and you're an organisation that cares about having Lean Six Sigma certification as well, when your apprentice receives their apprenticeship certificate, we can also offer you a Lean Six Sigma Green Belt certificate as well, should you wish. Just one final thank you from me to say, really appreciate you joining me today to walk through the Level 4 Improvement Practitioner curriculum. If you want to know any more information, please feel free to get in touch.